What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Will, and this week we are doing part one of a two-part series where we talk to the final four contestants from this year's iteration of Bubba's Backyard Ultramarathon put on by Run the Whites. I originally intended for this to be a one big episode with four interviews from one from each of the final four. But Riverside, the podcasting platform that I use, the audio got really messed up from my interview with Lucas. Sort of similar to how it was with the Amber Constant episode where the audio and video were overlapped, but this time it was much, much worse. And it's like not, it's not listenable. So I am working through the customer service chain with Riverside, and they will hopefully fix it soon. But I figured rather than give you guys nothing, I'm going to give you my conversations with the 3 and 4 spot from Bubba's Backyard Ultra, and then once the episode, or once they get their stuff together over at Riverside, I'll put out the second part of this with Aaron Copeland and Lucas Janulitis, the final two. If I can, I'll just get that episode out whenever they get back to me. So hopefully you don't have to wait 2 weeks for the second part to it. But we'll also see, because I'm getting into that time of year now where it's really busy with residency interviews, and I don't know how much time I'm going to have to edit. This was my night to edit, and then Riverside decided to give me a bad track. But here we are. We rolled the punches, and we have a fantastic conversation coming up with you guys. The fourth place of the final four at Bubba's Backyard Ultramarathon this year was Erica Notini. She went 150.5 miles, which was 43 laps. And then in third place, we had Katie Melsky with 168 miles at 48 laps. So those are the two we're going to talk to in this episode. Incredible performances, really pushing not only where the race is, but where the women are as well in this race. I thought that was super inspiring, super cool. I do also want to give a shout out to Erica was the fourth the fourth of the final four at Bubba's by virtue of going out and attempting that the 44th lap, if you will. But there were three other people who made it 43 laps as well, just didn't get as far as she did on the next one. So I want to give a shout out to those guys as well. Mike Conley, Andy Johnstone, or as I like to call him, Daddy Longlegs, and Connor Brown. All three of those guys, incredible efforts as well. I just can't interview everyone. So, Bubba's was awesome this year. I got to hang out for a bunch of day one, and I made an appearance on day two just to see how people were doing. Man, what an event. As always, thanks to Run the Whites for putting on incredible events, bringing the community together, and congrats to these incredible athletes for pushing so far. There were 7 people who went more than 42 hours, which is just insane. So congrats to all these folks. Before we get to the episode, I'm going to tell you about we have new sponsors for this week, which is exciting. But first, let me tell you about the tried and true sponsor for this podcast. That's Infinite Nutrition. Infinite, it's a total nutrition powder. You mix it right into your water for all of your endurance, hydration, and nutrition needs. I use Infinite because it's super simple, super customizable. I can just mix 1 serving of Infinite into my water, and I'm good to go. Just got to drink 1 serving per hour. It's great. I used it heavily on both rounds of my long trail FKTs. Used it heavily at Tour, and they make great stuff. It's just good product. So if you want to try out Infinite, go try out a custom blend. You can do a consultation with them to figure out exactly what custom blend you need. Use code From the Backcountry, all one word, at the link in the description of the podcast over on their website. Use code From the Backcountry, all one word, for 15% off your order. That includes their custom mixes, protein powders, high fructose blends, recovery mixes, you name it. They make just great stuff. So go on over and try them out. Second, I've done so many of those that I can sort of do it without thinking about it too much. This is a new one, so it's going to be rough, but bear with me because it's a great company. Burgeon Outdoor. That's right. This year I'm working with Burgeon Outdoor. It's a fantastic clothing company right in Lincoln, New Hampshire. Burgeon is a local clothing company that makes very high quality clothes for both backpacking, fast packing, ultra running, skiing. All of their clothes are hand stitched in either Gorham, New Hampshire or Lincoln, New Hampshire. They do a lot to give back to the community. I've really been digging their Sunseeker hoodie as well as their Alpha Direct hoodies. They work really well. It's very high quality stuff. I'm really excited to work with them more this year. So if you're in the area, go check out Burgeon. It's a great local company. Go check out their store in Lincoln. And if you want to check them out online, hit the link in the show notes. Go check out some of their stuff. Just great quality, warm but breathable, very functional for fast packing, for hiking. They make stuff for winter and for summer. So go check them out, guys. I'm excited to be working with those with the fellows over at Burgeon. And last, we have 3 sponsors now. I know, annoying, too many sponsors, but they're just great companies out there. So last company, new sponsor is John G, but you're going to hear more about John G later on. And I think the last thing before we get to the episode is that we had another 5-star review that I am obligated contractually to read out. If you want your 5-star review read, go leave a 5-star review and write a little something on Apple Podcasts, and I'm obligated to read it out. But listen, this is a long one, so you're going to have to stick with me, but it is the greatest. It's the single greatest podcast review anyone has ever written, so I have to read it. But even if it was terrible, I'd have to read it because I'm contractually obligated. The title is Pick Up a Pack of Hannaford ... It's probably a longer title, but my phone can't load it. By Matt 739-40552. And it says, buckle up. As a diehard River and Spring fan, I never thought a store brand seltzer would become my go-to choice of hydration for backcountry adventures. Then this podcast introduced me to Hannaford Seltzer. Wow! This seltzer does things in your mouth that fresh glacial runoff just can't. Do I need a slightly larger backpack? Sure, but it's totally worth it. Picture this. You've just hiked 10 miles, 16.093 kilometers, to a high alpine lake with a couple of friends. They pull out their ultralight water filtration system and you just chuckle to yourself. They don't realize that you've hauled a 12-pack of Hannaford Seltzer into the backcountry. While they're pumping crystal clear alpine water through their filters, you're sitting back, taking in the view. When they realize you brought sparkling water for the whole group, you're sure to get a legendary trail name. Carrying this much fizzy goodness also does wonders for your climbing legs. If your normal friends are slower than you, since, let's face it, your whole life is centered around running in the mountains, it's a sneaky good way to squeeze in a workout while still giving the impression that you're a friendly, sociable fellow. And if you chug it when you get to the top, it's great stomach training as well. One of their 9 flavors, in parentheses, if you count lemon lime, lime, unflavored, and lemon as separate flavors today. I personally like to leave a few in the car to enjoy on the drive home from an epic mountain adventure, all while listening to the From the Backcountry podcast presented by Hannaford Seltzer Water. Disclaimer. Please use care when mixing any seltzer water with sports nutrition mixes, as the extra carbonation can cause flask failure, leading to an uncomfortable, eye-stinging, sugary mess. That's perfect. That's the end of it. Fantastic. The bar has now been set for 5-star reviews. I expect all of them to be this good. You guys are awesome. All right, so that's it, guys. This is a really long intro, but I hope you enjoy the episode with Erica and with Katie. And as soon as I get the audio back from Lucas's episode, I will put together the final 2 with Aaron and Lucas and get that out. All right, guys, have a good one. See you next time.
All right, Erica, welcome to the podcast, Spitfire, as it were.
Thank you. Good to be here.
I understand that you were more prepared than I did, and what did you bring with you?
I brought a Polar Black Cherry Seltzer, and I really can't say that I was more prepared than you were because I actually had to steal this from my partner.
Very nice.
I don't drink seltzer, but he does, so.
Well, at least you know the priorities of the listener base of this podcast. I was very unprepared. I'm not at my house today, so I had to go to the fridge of my girlfriend's sister and get the closest thing they had, which was this grapefruit citrus Fresca. So that's what we're rocking today.
Close enough.
All right, we'll crack them in 3, 2, 1, and then we'll go. 3. Oh wait, I need to get my stubby finger under here. All right, 3, 2, 1. Nice. That's a lot of flavor for 0 calories. I don't understand how Fresca does it. Good for them.
Good for them.
All right, so we're here to talk about Bubba's. You got 4th place at Bubba's. That's incredible.
Thank you.
150.5 miles, 43 yards, as it were.
Yeah.
43 times around Bubba's famed backyard. How are you feeling? I guess we're recording this probably 2 weeks after Bubba's started. So how are you feeling now?
I feel pretty much recovered. I did I went out for lap 44 and my knee locked up. So I do still have a knee thing going on, unfortunately. But I had planned to take quite a bit of time off after Bubba's anyway, so it's kind of convenient. Like, if I'm gonna get injured, I might as well get injured now.
Right. The late fall is for most people a convenient time to take some time off before they start another build for something in the winter. So I'm sorry you got hurt, but I'm glad it's good timing.
It is what it is. At least it wasn't my brain that took me out this time.
Sure. Yeah.
At least it was my body.
Yeah. And so, what is your one thing I'm interested in talking to all the sort of the top people at Bubba's is your athletic background, and to see if there's any sort of carryover between what people do and what people do otherwise athletically, and what and how they perform really well at a backyard ultra. So, what's your athletic background? How have you let's start there. What's your athletic background?
Sure. So I started running when I was 12, and I've been doing it ever since, all through middle school, high school, college. And then after I graduated college the first time, I thru-hiked the AT in 2017, hence the trail name.
Yep.
I've also thru-hiked the Long Trail and the Coas Trail and the Benton MacKaye Trail.
Cool.
And that was kind of where I discovered ultra running. I was on the AT hearing about Heather Anderson and Joe McConaughey, and those guys doing FKTs, and I was like, what the heck is an FKT? And I found out and decided to try it after I got back and really loved it. It was just kind of a natural bridge between the running that I was doing when I was in school and through hiking. So
very cool. Yeah. Okay, so you sort of have a foot in both worlds, in the running world and the through hiking world. I've always heard people argue at Bubba's whether Bubba's is a is a hiker's race or a runner's race. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I am 5'2", so it's a runner's race. I have to run like 80% of the course, so that I can finish in like 47 to 50 minutes.
Sure. Okay.
Last year, I figured out some way to walk more of it somehow, but I think I was finishing like 57, 58 minutes, and it just wasn't enough time. So, and if you look at the rest of the top 4, they're all giants.
Right.
They're all like 6 feet tall. So they might have a different answer to that question.
Yeah. Very interesting. Okay, and what do you do in like what is your everyday life?
It's tough to say. I have a very irregular schedule because I work in healthcare.
Oh, sure.
I work in an emergency department, and we do 312s, but that's not necessarily like...
It's all over the place.
Yeah, it's all over the place. And then I'm also in school for paramedics, so I have to deal with that too.
Yep.
So it's just kind of like I wake up in the morning and I get stuff done. And regardless of how it fits into the day, somehow it just all fits.
The ED lifestyle is pretty insane. It's really like, you know, like 312s sounds like, oh, you work 3 days a week, but then it's like it could be any day of the week, it could be overnight, one shift could be 11 to 11, another shift could be 1 to 1, and like it's just... But do you think that sort of irregularity, I'm sure you've had to deal with, flipping between days and nights. How do you think that's helped you in a race like Bubba's where you have to be up at all hours of the day and still energetic enough to get around a lap?
I'm not really quite sure what it was that helped me through the sleep deprivation. I ran Jigger Johnson this year, and I don't know what happened. I feel like I unlocked something at Jigger Johnson, because I was out there for like 40 hours and I didn't feel tired at all. There was definitely a time where like my eyes were starting to close on their own, but like I couldn't fall asleep, and then the sun came up and it was better. So it's tough to say. My schedule in the ER, I do 11 to 11. And that's pretty standard. Sometimes I'll pick up a night shift, but it's pretty irregular for me. So I'm not sure that really plays into it, but...
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
How many times have you run Bubba's now?
This was my second time.
Second time. Okay. And how far did you go last time?
I did 31 last time.
31 last time. Okay. Yeah. So 31 to 43 is a big jump. What do you think accounts for that difference?
I have a lot more experience going into it this year. I would say last year was like my first year really like being serious about running ultra marathons anyway. And so I got a coach last year, and I continued to use her through this year. But we did a lot this year. I think I ran like 8 races
Wow.
/ FKTs this year, and I don't know that I would do it that way again. But I do think that it really helped.
Yeah, I'm sure it definitely at least hardened you up. Sounds like an exhausting schedule, but that's very cool. What were some of your favorite races / FKTs that you did?
I would have to say Jigger Johnson was probably, it's definitely up there. I had a great experience. I felt really good, and I like got to the finish line and I turned to my pacer and I was like, yeah, I could keep going.
Nice.
So maybe I didn't run it as fast as I could have, but
Sure.
Maybe I'll be back. So there's that too. And then the Monadnock Sunapee Greenway, I will always hold pretty close to my heart. I ran that one back in 2023 unsupported, and it's really easy to do it unsupported. It's only 50 miles. So I ran it back in 2023, and then at the end of last year, I went back to the FKT page for whatever reason and noticed that the person that I had taken the record from had come back and done it faster. And I was like, oh, it's about to go down. So I went back this year and beat my own time by like 3 hours, which is super fun. It's like right in my backyard, so it's really easy to get to, and it's a great training day for sure.
That's awesome. Cool. And okay, so back to Bubba's. This was a sort of a breakout year, I feel like, for Bubba's. Seven people, I think, went over 40 hours, which is insane. Like, I think back in the day, my first year at Bubba's in 2021, I got 5th for like 105 miles or something dumb like that. Like 105 miles wouldn't have gotten you in the top 25, I don't think, this year.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
The level of competition's just... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so many people had so many amazing performances. Like, there were a lot of people that were there last year that were there this year as well. Like, particularly Connor Brown also did 43 hours. Mm-hmm. And last year, I think he only did 29 or 30. So, and that's just amazing. And then there were 8 or 9 women that made it to the 100-mile mark, and that's just so cool to see. Because last year there were only 3 of us that made it to the 100-mile, 3 or 4 maybe.
And 2 out of the final 4 being women. That was pretty insane as well.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think made this year so special? And I feel like this was a very special year at Bubba's, and I know the weather was good and like that stuff, but I feel like there's more to it than that. What do you think made this year so special at Bubba's?
That's a tricky question. I don't know. I think the weather being dry helped, but it was also really hot.
Right.
And so I'm not sure that the weather was really the thing that you have to look at. I think that a lot of people were just ready to have breakout performances. You look at ultra running and the scene in the Northeast with racing, and I feel like still very young. And so I think what you're seeing is a lot of people just stepping it up in the way that they naturally would if the scene was a little bit older. Yeah. You're just seeing it later because this is just when it's happening.
For sure. I think that's very true. Were there any moments out there that you thought you were done but ended up not being done? You were just you were just rock solid the whole time, never had any doubts?
Well, I wouldn't say that I was rock solid the entire time. I definitely made it look like I was rock solid the entire time. But there was like 4 laps that I had my friend Sarah come out and run with me where I was not feeling good. And this was like in the 30s somewhere, and it was below Maya's record, so it was like early 30s. Where I was just like, I did not want to be there anymore. I was just like, I'm ready to be asleep and be eating ice cream. But I didn't really have any excuse to quit. Like, my body felt like it should feel. It didn't necessarily feel fine, but like it was fine enough. So I didn't have an excuse to stop. I just was being crabby.
Sure. Was it, when you say that you made it look like you were doing fine the whole time, was that an intentional, like, put my game face on, don't let the competition see weakness kind of? Like, was that an intentional play?
Yes.
I dig that. I love the mind games that go on in Bubba's.
I feel like you got to, especially, I wanted to win outright, because it would be so cool to have a woman finisher. And so I feel like coming in with that mindset, you're definitely the underdog. Everyone wants Lucas to win. And so you got to make it look like you're unshakable. Right. In the face of this giant. Right?
Sure. That's super fair. I love that. It's like a it's sort of a game face, but it's also just like in a way it's sort of like a mantra of like this is the persona I need to play in order to like have a chance at winning this thing, which is very cool. I love the strategy.
It's for me too, right? So like if I have to put on the face that says that I am unshakable, eventually I will start to believe it too.
Exactly. Yeah. That's awesome. And you alluded to it towards the beginning of the episode, but when did you know that you were done, and what was it that ended up taking you out?
So on lap 43, I had a blister on the bottom of my foot break. And it was very painful, but it's not pain that I am unfamiliar with. So like I know if I run on it long enough, it's going to go away. But it caused me to alter the way that I was putting my foot down. And so I started lap 44, like in a lot of pain, still in the dark, didn't want to be there anymore. And now I'm running weird. So, about a half a mile into lap 44, my knee locked up. And I just like couldn't bend it. And which, I also said earlier that I have to run like 80% of the lap to finish in a reasonable amount of time. And so I couldn't run pretty much at all. And while I was out there, I kind of realized like I'm going to time out. And so instead of turning around and taking the easy way out or like cutting any of the switchbacks, I did the whole lap, and used it as like an opportunity to kind of like reflect on the race and what went well and what went wrong and what I can work on for the next time.
It's an honorable way to do it, and it's kind of tough, like you said, when if you have something that takes away your running ability, you just have less of a cushion because of the length of your legs. But that also makes it like even more impressive how far you went, because like things go wrong with your legs in 150 miles. So the fact that you're able to keep the train on the tracks as long as you did is pretty awesome.
Thank you.
So where do you see this race going? Like where's the max of this, and where's your max, do you think, of this, or do you know yet?
Yeah, I guess I don't really know yet. I mean, I did hit a physical limit, but like I feel like that's something that I can improve on. I would really like to see this race get to be pretty insane. I would love to see this go like as long as last skier standing. That would be really cool. I think that will be really challenging, obviously. Like, last skier standing has some physical benefits to people that running does not have. Like, it's a lot easier on your joints. But you see backyard ultras in other parts of the country going for, like, 4 days.
Right.
So I don't feel like there's any reason why this couldn't go that long. You know what I mean? There's definitely going to be a woman finisher, whether it's me or Katie. I think that will be decided next year.
Sure.
At least I hope. And I personally, like, this year I was looking at that 48-hour mark, and then now that it's broken into the 50s, I think you have to look at the 200-mile mark at lap 57 or 58 or whatever it is.
Sure. Yeah. And so you kind of already said it, but I take that as you're coming back next year for another round.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. That'll be sick. And in the meantime, do you have any other efforts that are exciting to you that you want to, that you're ready to share? You certainly don't have to, but But anything that you're excited about, even if you're not planning on doing it this summer, just any efforts in the Northeast that excite you.
Yeah, so next summer, last summer, the one thing that I failed on was the White Mountains 100 unsupported. And I think that with as busy a schedule as I tried to put together this year, I just couldn't give the route the attention that it deserved. So next year, I'm planning on just taking the entire summer and only doing that.
Nice.
And really scouting it out and gaming it out and making it the only thing that I put my attention into, and then that way I will have a better chance of success, hopefully.
That's super exciting. I love the play that route's getting, and yeah, you going after it is gonna be a great event for that route. I can't wait to watch.
Yeah, I'm excited. I got to talk to Austin Black a little bit at Bubba's about
Nice.
like his setup and how he did it. I was really intrigued by the vest belt combo.
Interesting. What size vest did he use?
He used a 12 liter. I think
12
he used
liter.
a Solomon
Interesting.
ADV Skin 12,
Oh,
which is also a pack that I have.
Yeah. That's an interesting strategy because that's a very, very like slim. I have that vest too. Very slim, light vest, and then if you can fit everything in a belt and a vest, that's cool.
Yeah. I packed way too much for it this year. It really slowed me down, especially like I don't know if anyone has ever said anything good about the Osgood Trail. Definitely really slowed me down going up that. I feel like if I could be a little bit lighter, I could be just a little bit faster. And then like again,
Sure.
with the short legs, that doesn't help.
Yeah. There's a lot of big steps up on Osgood.
Yep.
That's awesome.
The thing that took me out of that this past year was actually a really big step up.
Oh, really?
And I couldn't do it. I just had to like lay down and sleep right there.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Man, that's brutal. And what time are you thinking? Like July, August? What's your time frame on it?
Yeah. I want to make sure that it's going to be dry. So late August, early September, probably.
Cool.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome. Well, Erica, thank you so much for taking the time to come chat. Congrats again on fourth at Bubba's. That's an incredible achievement, especially this year. And where can the people find you and follow your adventures?
I'm on Instagram at @spitfire.
Nice. Strava?
I am on Strava as well, and it is public, so go ahead and search my name and follow me, but you probably won't get a follow back on Strava.
That's good. You got to reserve those Strava follows for very special occasions.
I try not to follow people that I don't know because it just kind of like crowds the
Yeah, you don't want to.
timeline, and then I don't see the things from people that I do know.
Exactly. You don't want to just look at a bunch of random GPS tracks of someone you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, thanks again for taking the time, and congrats. Rest up, and I hope everything heals up and you're good to go for your next build.
Thanks.
Quick pause on the episode to tell you guys about the newest partner for the podcast, and that is Janji. Janji makes performance running and hiking clothing that stands up to whatever conditions you put it through. I had the chance while I was over in Italy to try out both the Janji Trail Half Tights and their AFO running shorts, and I cannot speak highly enough about their products. Their shorts are super comfortable. They make an ultra short that comes with lots of pockets for you to stash gels and your phone, and it's all around the waistband, so it's super comfortable to carry without, if you need extra pockets from your vest. I thought they're and same with their half tights. They just have so many pockets, so many places to stow things. You can tell it's really high quality made, and it's just super comfortable. So if you're training for something big or just want a piece of gear that can help you stay comfortable and can keep up with you, check them out at janji.com. Hit the link in the show notes and use the code from the backcountry, all one word, for 15% off of your order from them. Also, at the checkout, let them know that you found them through our podcast. It really helps out the podcast, letting them know that stuff. And super excited to be working with John G. They make such high quality clothing. Their shorts and their leggings are really something that I've been digging a lot lately. So go ahead and try them out. And with that, let's get back to the episode with Katie. All right. Katie Melsky, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We are recording this on Monday, October 20th, which means it's now 2 weeks from day 3 of Bubba's, which you were still running on.
Yes, I was thinking about that today, actually.
It's pretty crazy. How are you feeling now?
I'm pretty good. My voice is almost all of the way back. I'm mostly not coughing all of the time. Yeah, and aside from that, pretty good. I think I was definitely very sleep deprived for like the entire week after Bubba's, but yeah, now I'm good. Legs feel pretty much fine, so yeah.
That's great. Are you no injuries? You're itching to get back out there, or are you content with
I did a 30-mile day yesterday in the Whites.
Oh
so.
my gosh. I could. Gosh, you're back out there far earlier than I would have. That's impressive.
Yeah. I mean, in truth, I wish I could have destroyed my legs a little bit more. I think I basically ran out of calories and then had to stop. So yeah, kind of wish I was a little bit more tired than I am, but that's okay. Sure. That's how it goes.
So for anyone who isn't aware, you did 48 hours, 168 miles. Which means you started at 10 a.m. on Saturday and you finished at 10 a.m. on Monday.
Yeah.
And you, Aaron, and Lucas all beat the previous course record, which was set by Ed Clifford, at 45 laps. How cool was that to go beyond the previous course record?
In retrospect, definitely feels super cool. When it was happening, I had no idea what was going on. Laps like 41 and onward, I basically blacked out and didn't know what time it was or what lap we were on or what mile we were on. But yeah, now having had time to process it, definitely like was not something that I thought was like possible or in the cards for myself going into this. Like I knew I could probably do a lot of miles, but wasn't like, oh yeah, like let's just go break the overall course record. So yeah, definitely cool to have been able to do that and do it with a couple of other really strong people as well.
How bad was the sleep deprivation on night 2? I know you. I don't like what caused you to dissociate on night 2 and.
Sleep deprivation, interestingly, wasn't an issue. I talked some to Jacob, who was one of the people crewing me, and his thought was, like, I spent really a lot of time at Bubba's trying not to throw up, and sometimes succeeding and sometimes not succeeding. And so I think I was so preoccupied with that and the fact that I, like, had consumed really not a lot of calories at all during the second night that I, like, was not tired. I think just because my body was like totally in fight or flight mode, which like in a way was sort of nice, but also bad.
Sure. Was that Jacob Walsh?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. He and I went to college together.
Yeah.
Good old Northeastern. Okay, and so what do you think caused the vomiting or the nausea?
I think it was a combination of things. I think like my stomach was like a little bit uneasy just generally, I think, from the trying to run and eat as much as possible. But then also I think like I came into Bubba's sort of sick, so I would like start like sore throat type of sick. So I would like start coughing enough to like kind of trigger my gag reflex and then end up throwing up because I already felt queasy, and then that just like spiraled, I think. And was not the most fun thing, but also was like a little bit funny as it was happening, because I was like, wow, this is like definitely the most metal thing I've ever done.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, one of the questions that I said I was going to ask everyone, but now I'm forgetting now I'm realizing I forgot to ask Aaron, is there's been a lot of discussion with this race in previous years about whether it is a runner's race or a hiker's race. What is your take on that?
I mean, I think it's kind of both. I mean, it just depends on how you want to tackle it. Like, I treat it as a hiker's race. My background is like way more in hiking than it is in trail running. I'm definitely like more of a thru hiker. I think last year Bubba's was sort of my entrance into trail running. Like, I hadn't really trail run a lot before that. And I have nice long legs that I've learned to love. So I definitely, like, I got away with a fair number of laps at Bubba's. Like, I want to say I did at least like 4 or 5 laps that were just walking. Like, I didn't run a step. I was just like walking 15-30 miles. But then, like, on the other hand, like, Lucas, I think, was doing a lot of running. Like, every lap that he started, like, he would run, and then I would like never see him again for the rest of the lap.
Sure.
So I think, like, it's sort of a cool race in a way, because you can like figure out how to play to your strengths and kind of like make it work either way.
So what is your athletic background? You mentioned you're more of a thru hiker, but I'm also very interested in all of you guys who did so well. What is your background in athletics?
Yeah, so I grew up figure skating. I did synchronized skating for a lot of years, which is not a sport that a lot of people have heard of, but it's like figure skating, but 16 people on the ice at the same time.
What? That's insane.
Yeah. So that was cool. I was lucky enough to like grow up in an organization that was super competitive, like on the national and world level. So I think like got like a lot of my competitive spirit from there. And also got like a little bit of trauma from there that now drives me to do other silly things. And then I also like grew up doing like a little bit of running, and then like in 2020 and 2021 did a couple of marathons. Yeah. And
did you thru hike the AT at some point?
Yeah, in 2022 I hiked the AT.
Yeah, okay. And this past year was your first year running, or 2024 was your first year running Bubba's. I think you did like 70 miles. So that was quite a jump from 70 to 168 and third place overall. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, definitely a few things. I mean, I think like even 3 weeks before Bubba's this year, I was saying like my goal is 100 miles. But then I was having a conversation with someone at the trail running club that I go to, basically being like, well, I'm not actually sure how I'm going to keep going if I set my goal as 100 miles. If I can physically keep going after 100, like how would I make myself keep going? Because 2024 Bubba's, my goal was 60 miles, because that would be like farther than I had ever gone. So I got to 60 miles, did 2 more laps, hit 70, and was like, okay, that's good. Like, I met my goal, and also was like in pain and dying in other ways, but was like, I'm content, that's good. So I was having this conversation prior to Bubba's this year with someone, just being like, I'm not sure how I'll be able to keep going. And then later that night, had another conversation separately with Amanda Fisher, who like volunteers at Bubba's and does a bunch of other stuff up there. And she was basically like, yeah, you can't have a goal like that because you will just stop. So I think one of the things was just like getting rid of any sort of mileage or lap goal, so that my brain wouldn't be like, oh, you can stop now. And then definitely the other thing was having a super awesome crew of people helping me. Bubba's in 2024, I showed up like I had like absolutely no idea what I was doing, which was fine. I'm really glad that I was still able to put myself in that position and like show up there. But I just had like my one really cheapo folding chair, and all of my food was in the back of my car, and then I like, lay a piece of Tyvek on the ground so I could stretch without sitting on the grass. Like that was it. And my mom was my only crew. She stayed until like 2 a.m. and then got too tired and drove home. So definitely like had a totally different setup this year, and I think like learned a lot from Bubba's in 2024 and learned a lot in the past year of like being a little bit more involved in the trail running world, learning from other people that I've hung out with. So this year we showed up with a whole setup, a lot of which I borrowed from different people, but had a much nicer chair and had a tent and had a couple of tables, and then also had like a whole ton of people from the Northeast Trail Crew running club that I've been going to outside of Boston. A whole ton of people able to help me. So every lap I would get back and like just be able to hand them my stuff, and they would ask me what I needed and fill up my water and this, that, and the other thing. So like definitely wouldn't have been able to go as far as I went without them. So I'm really thankful for those guys.
That's awesome. So one question I've also been asking everyone is this year was pretty insane in terms of the distance. Like I remember back in 2021, I came in 5th, and I think I came in 5th at like 105 miles or something dumb like that. And this year there were 7 of you who went over, I think there were 7 of you who went over 40 hours, which is...
Yeah. Yeah, I think like a lot of people got to 43 even, which like I think 2024, I think 42 was the last lap. So
yeah. So obviously the weather was, the weather was better this year, but do you think there are other things that contributed to how special this year was other than just the weather?
That's a good question. I mean, honestly, like I would argue, because like 2023 was the rainy year. 2024, the weather was pretty good also. Like it was a little wet in the morning, and it was like a little cold overnight.
Yeah, it wasn't bad last year.
It wasn't hot and horrible like it was this year.
Right, it was really hot for you guys.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think maybe part of it is that like a fair number of the people that went really far have been going to Bubba's for the past few years. Like a lot of them were like some of the same people that went really, really far in 2024. Mm-hmm. So I think like it helps having like a crew of people who come back and want to like go one step farther than they did the year before, one step further. Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think I'm honestly not like totally sure. I think just people realizing maybe that they're like they themselves and also like humans generally are maybe capable than more of what they even thought that they were capable of.
Sure.
Because I think we've just been seeing more and more people push the limits further and further of like what is possible physically and mentally for humans to do. So I think like I know I was definitely going into the race feeling pretty inspired by like seeing especially women in the whites this summer and like all over the place do a lot of crazy badass stuff. So I think there's a lot of that going on too.
Totally. Going back to one thing you said, because I don't know why I just remembered it, but you were talking about sort of the goals and that you took away the mileage goal because it's sort of a dangerous game once you get past that. This is a struggle that I've always had with this format of, I agree with you completely that that's a dangerous game to play, but then like the alternative seems to be like go until I can't anymore, and that oftentimes I feel like leads to, at least for me, leads to once I feel horrible, which is, every step after like 50 miles, then your body's telling you, oh, you should probably stop doing this. How, like, what kept you going? Like, what did you have any mantras or just strategies to keep yourself going out there?
Yeah, I wouldn't really say I had mantras or strategies. Like, I think a lot of the race, I just, like, turned my brain off, which I think is something that I'm a little bit lucky to be able to do. Like, I listened to music for half of one lap, and it was the worst lap. And I listened to nothing else the rest of the time and didn't really talk to people because I couldn't really talk because I had no voice.
Wow.
So I think, like, something about this format, I can just like turn my brain off and be like, we're just going to go through the woods and then we're going to have food and then we're just going to do it again. So yeah, I think that is something that I've like struggled with as well, though, is like how do you define like finding the limit? Like how do you know you're done? Mm-hmm. I'm still trying to sort of figure out what that is. I do think something else this year that helped me was I went into it with a really strong mentality of like, I'm going to time out. Like, no matter what, how I finish this has to be timing out. 2024, I like didn't time out. I just like did lap 20 and then told whoever was like working the finish line, like, I'm done. And they were like, are you sure? And I was like, yes, I'm sure. But this year I didn't want to be asked if I was sure. I wanted to be like, yeah, obviously, like, this girl cannot do any more right now. So yeah, I think like just being really committed to timing out helped me a lot with like getting up and getting started on the next lap. Like, there wasn't really a time where my crew had to be like, okay, like, you have to, like, you need to get out of this chair. And I, like, there wasn't a point where I was saying like, no, I don't want to do that. So that, yeah, I think definitely helped me keep going.
Yeah, totally. This race is famous for the Monty pump ups to, you know, when people think they're done and he's like, no, you're not done. You're gonna get out there for one more. And it's just like, I feel like the community, I mean, Monty obviously is the flagship, but people just like pushing each other in a good way to get out and do one more. Were there any moments that you felt like you were done, but then weren't done?
Yeah, I thought I was done at 40 laps, for sure. I lap 38 was what I'm calling my mental breakdown lap. I had already like been basically only eating popsicles and cough drops for I think at least 5 hours at that point. So lap 38, like, definitely, like, just everything was wrong on that lap. I had one of my friends, Walton, was walking behind me, and like I think somewhere around the halfway point, I like turned around to her and just like started sobbing and was like, I'm having a really bad time. But then like got it in my head that I wanted to get to 40 laps. I think partly because I wanted to beat the previous women's record but had it wrong in my head. And also because like I was like, okay, like it will be cool to double what I did the year before, because 2024 I did 20 laps. So laps 39 and 40, I had like a pacer walking in front of me and like one of my crew people walking in front of me and someone walking behind me, just to like get me to 40. But then because I was committed to timing out, like started lap 41 because like I made lap 40 in time. But I thought I was going to time out on lap 41. Like the plan was I was going to time out on lap 41, which like in retrospect, I'm not sure that I would count that necessarily as timing out if I go into it being like, I'm going to time out on this lap. So I think that's maybe something I have to work on for next year. But like my crew took away my watch. Like I didn't have a phone or anything. Like I had no idea what time it was on lap 41. Just like went out to enjoy the woods. Like Jacob was like, remember, you like hiking, like you like the woods, like just go enjoy it. So I started lap 41 and then they met me. That was a clockwise lap. So they met me in the beer mile field. And they were like, oh, you can actually just like be done now if you want. And I was like, well, no, that's not timing out. I think that doesn't count. I'm sorry. And I, like, in the moment thought they were trying to, like, trick me into wanting to keep going, but in fact, I think they actually just, like, thought I needed to stop because I was really damaging myself. So I, like, just totally walked lap 41. Like, it felt extremely slow, extremely painful because my feet were covered in blisters because I hadn't been taking care of them because I kept thinking I was going to quit. I've started calling it the dilly-dally lap because the Christmas tree lights had been turned off all night, so I like spent 5 minutes trying to figure out how to turn them on. Like found some weird amphibian on the trail and like checked that out, some type of like weird salamander thing. Like really was committed to timing out, which again, like maybe that's not timing out, but
sure.
But then got to like the driveway and heard someone yell 1 minute and was like, oh no. Like I have to run. Like you can't, it's really not timing out if you hear 1 minute and you could have made it running and you don't try. So then ran across the line with like less than 30 seconds to spare and then turned around and started the next lap.
Wow.
So the adrenaline from that definitely like helped help me through the next like lap and a half before then my body was like, oh yeah, I remember now why this is horrible and you wanted to stop. But yeah, definitely was like really thought 40 laps was the end.
And so what was it ultimately? I mean, you've alluded to it a little bit with the food situation, but talk me through the last lap and what ended up being taking you out.
Yeah, I'm not, like, I don't think there's one real answer. I've done, I think, unfortunately, maybe too much thinking about that lap in the last couple of weeks. And if there's any way I could have done it differently and kept going, I think, like, because I had been putting so few calories into my body, like, I just wasn't able to move my legs fast enough anymore, and, like, couldn't make my brain make my legs start running in any way. Yeah, I think just because I was kind of out of calories and then some. And, like, one of my calves started getting super tight, I think also just because I, like, had given it no food or electrolytes or really anything in a long time. So definitely planning to work on the eating thing for next year.
Very cool. And so that answers my next question, which is, you're coming back for next year?
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
I mean, I think, like, I'm already planning on quarantining myself and masking for several weeks before the race. Cause I'm definitely looking forward to seeing, like, what is possible if I'm feeling slightly healthier than I was this year. And it's just, like, such a fun race. Like, I think even if I had been feeling really good this year, my answer would be the same.
Yeah.
Being, like, the Bubba's bubble is super special. Like, 2024, I left on Sunday and, like, literally cried on the drive home because I was, like, so sad to be leaving and, like, didn't really want to go to work the next day. So yeah, just, like, being in that community and, like, just these people that, like, all you're focused on all weekend is just, like, doing a lap and then doing a lap and, like, seeing your friends, I think definitely, like, makes me want to come back.
Totally. Because my this is stuff that my podcast listenership will want to hear, are there any other efforts in the Whites or the New England area that interest you? Races, FKTs, anything?
Truthfully, not really right now. I think my brain has a little bit of a hard time with, like, timed efforts and things that are really competitive. It starts to become, like, a little bit less fun.
Sure.
Like, I think I really like hiking and running because I like just being able to turn my brain off and, like, be outside and be in the woods. So yeah, I think I don't really have anything else lined up right now. I think I want to spend a little bit of time getting my brain back into I just like being in the woods and I'm just gonna, like, do fun things in the woods because I'm lucky that my body lets me do those things, and
Yep.
I enjoy it. So I think just, like, making up silly routes and going out and doing them in a day, like, not anything real. Like, yesterday, the route that I did was the first backpacking trip that I ever did was something through school, and we did it in 5 days, and yesterday I did it in 1 day. Just, like,
Nice.
funny things like that like, don't really mean anything to, like, anyone except myself.
Sure.
That's not to say that, like, maybe there's not something else more, like, FKT-ish or something that would happen in the future, but not anything that I have planned right now.
For sure. Cool. Where can people follow you and find your adventures?
Oh, I'm on the internet, on Instagram. It's at katie.hikes, so it's quite easy. I'm not still quite sure how I got that handle, but it's fine. No other Katies are allowed to go hiking, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a public account, so you can follow me whatever there. I mostly post stories of being weird in the woods, so yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on and taking the time to recap your Bubba's experience. I really appreciate it, and I hope recovery. Well, it sounds like recovery's already gone smoothly, and that you're just back out now. But good luck with all the fun adventures in the future.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been fun chatting.